I remember when I was growing up and I was listening to classical rock, I always really liked Electric Light Orchestra because they had that really funky kind of synth piano sound. I always wondered what instrument that was and how they did that, so today we're going to hop in and see if we can recreate it. So initially I had no idea where to begin because I don't really know a lot about synths or analog keyboards, so I just looked at the music video to see if they showed what it was. So I looked it up and this is a clavinet. What that exactly is it's an electromechanical keyboard instrument that was made in the 60s and 70s. So it's supposed to sound like a cross between a piano and an electric guitar. It's definitely used a lot in funk music. So to reference it, the first thing I did was actually screen record this and drag the audio into Ableton. It's going to help us match the sound and then also match the little riff they're playing so we can play it in. So one trick for this in Ableton is you can actually convert audio to a melody. So if you have like a clean recording, you can select convert to melody and it should give you the MIDI, which is the notes to trigger the keyboard. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it definitely sounded nothing like what we were trying to do, and that's fine because it gives us basically an idea to work off. So fast forwarding, I worked through that and found something that sounded similar. So for the most part, I think we have the notes down, but the sound is way off. So Arturia makes digital replicas of analog keyboards like this. So I was actually able to find the clavinet. I kind of sifted through and then found a preset that we could at least build off that was relatively close. I think it's way off. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it with tape saturation. So tape saturation is a natural type of coloration or saturation that occurs. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was from actual tape machines. So the actual physical tape would cause saturation. But now in music production, we try to emulate this with different plugins to kind of get that color and that grit out of it. So I used a plugin called Tape to see if I can kind of cook it a little bit and make it sound more similar. So I noticed it sounds super thin, so I just went ahead and used an EQ and boosted up the lows and the low mids quite a bit to kind of bring some body out of it. So now we're definitely a lot closer, but I wanted to go into the actual clavinet preset and use some of these pedals to see if we can get closer to the sound. So they definitely use a little bit of wah, which is kind of like a filter on the piano, but I'm going to see if with some of these other pedals we can kind of get closer to the actual character. So with the chorus and the phaser, makes it more wide, gives it more body, gets us a little bit closer, gets us pretty darn close. So now let's kind of A/B this and see how close we were able to get it to the original sound. So when I'm checking to see if something matches up or comparing sounds, I'll pan one to the left and one to the right so I can hear them both at the same time. So here's ours, here's theirs, and here's both of them together. I think we got pretty close there.